I'm excited for next week's
Halloween episode.
Yes. I'm so
I
excited.
think it's going to heavily feature Twilight, and I'm worried about it.
Babe, it's the whole episode.
I'll edit that out, don't worry.
Please don't. Please don't. That needs to be the open.
Oh, yep, that's gone. Hi, guys. Welcome to the Past Our Expiration podcast. I am Brad. This is
Ellie.
Every time. And we are talking about games this week. We're talking about, it's the gaming episode. Next week is the Halloween episode, but we thought we'd kick it off because we've been meaning to talk about games for weeks. But we always get sidetracked.
Gamer. We're in our gamer era.
Yes, yeah. Do you have anything that you're drinking this week, by the way?
Oh, I didn't grab my mug. No, I mean, I had a Coke. Coke, sponsor me.
I mean, hey, V. You know what I found out about V?
Oh.
I worked at a petrol station a while ago, years ago, and I found out that V stands for Vitalize. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
The parent company, who, like, when you get boxes of V in to, like, stock your shelves, it comes from Vitalize.
Like the company name. Vitalize Energy.
Yeah. V stands for Vitalize. Yeah. How interesting is that?
Yeah, that makes sense. I guess I've never thought about what the V stood for.
And you know what's really interesting? We always used to get in, because I've worked at a few petrol stations. We used to get boxes and boxes of V in, but it was always green. Everyone's like, "Oh my god, green's my favorite flavor. Blue is way better." I mean, I know I'm biased, but like blue's way better, right?
Oh yeah, it has a totally different flavor.
It's not even comparable. It's like,
I feel like Blue V, it doesn't taste like an energy drink. You know how the energy drinks have that taste, like Red Bull? I think is it the taurine, that specific
yes, yeah,
Red
the
Bully
plasticky sort of
flavor?
taste.
Yeah, which
Yes.
I don't like that. Whereas Blue V is like, it just tastes like
Good.
sour raspberry berry. I don't
Guava.
even, like, I don't know what
Yeah.
I don't know what the flavor is, but I think it's that tartness. You're making, this is like telling a heroin addict about to describe heroin.
Yeah.
Because I'm just like,
You start grinding your teeth down to the nubs.
give me the Blue V. I think I've gone like a year now since I've
Really?
had a Blue V.
Well, shit. I mean, yeah, obviously you couldn't have it while you were pregnant, and then, you know.
But I went cold turkey before that anyway, because I was
Right.
drinking so many at work when I was vet nursing. I was drinking like 3 a day, and it was getting bad. Like, I was like, this can't be good for me.
Oh, yeah, a little
Can't be
bit of
good.
law just unlocked. Ellie was a vet nurse.
Yes, I was.
What was your favorite part of the job and least favorite part of the job?
Favorite part of the job, you get to cuddle puppies and kittens all day, which is what people think we do all day, every day, and that's it. Least favorite part of the job, no one tells you it's literally
Mucking
90% cleaning. It's just cleaning. Like, you don't have hide cleaners that come in and fix stuff up. Literally cleaning 90% of the time. And if it's quiet, God forbid, you're doing more cleaning. Deep cleaning.
It's a lot of human nursing as well. It's mucking out the stall. It's yes. Nursing in general, it's a lot of shit work.
Literally.
Yeah, literally.
Poop.
Literally. On my very first day of nursing placements, I'm not a nurse anymore, but well, I never
We're both
was.
not
I just
nurses
did.
anymore.
I did the theory. And I'm like, this sucks. We're underpaid, and I'm being abused.
This is not for me.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm done. My very first day, I got shat on and pissed on by a patient. Very first day, first hour of the day. I'm like this poor patient, but it was so bad. But
So I feel like at least when it happens to me, you know, you look at it and it's like a cute puppy and you're like, oh, okay, you can't help it. You look at you, so cute. When it's a human, no.
No. The
And
most
like, human
annoying
nurses
part
get
is-
paid slightly more than animal nurses, but not by much.
Right? Not by much. Not enough. Not
Not
enough.
enough. No,
for
not
the
enough.
stakes, that is, you know, this one, the part that I don't want to say shat me, the most was this patient had not opened their bowels in 7 days, and we had to give them a microlax enema, and then as soon as we went to move them, bang. It's always the way.
Oh, yeah.
It's always the way. I got got.
We had a ancient cat that we had to give enemas to like every week. That poor cat. With his little cotton socks. He then eventually went off to kitty heaven because he was old, man. He was ready. Finished. He was done with life, and we're just like, nope, you're staying alive. Have another enema.
So did you use? It was the chemical enemas, right?
Yeah, they're in like a little.
Yes, the Microlax.
They might
ones,
even. Yeah, it's Microlax. Yeah, it's exactly the same. Obviously, same. I think a lot of the stuff correlates.
Well, I mean,
use a lot of human medicine.
I found out. One of my friends at work, they have a dog with diabetes, right? And I made a joke, and because I didn't know about their dog. They said, I'll say the dog's name, I won't say their name. They were like, oh, I have to take care of Archie. I assumed Archie was like their brother or their son or, something like that. I have to take care of Archie, like, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, okay. They never said it was a dog. And then they were like, oh, I have to give Archie his insulin shot. And I'm like, oh, okay. Because usually most diabetics are self-administering with their unless they're in care, you know what I mean?
Or they're a child, I guess.
Or they're a child,
like
right?
Teeny child, yep.
But even then, they have the pens, like, so every day she gives this dog this medicine, and I was like, oh, what is it? Because I'm always so interested because it's the same shit. It's Novolog. We use it for people. Yeah,
you can even get the pens, the clicky pens, in clinic, and we did sometimes, but they end up being a little bit more expensive when you do it that way for pets.
Yes,
because you lose a lot because the dosage is so small. And if you accidentally click it, I don't know. It's probably the same for humans. Like, it's more, I guess, useful in terms of it's all in one thing.
I was on something called liraglutide for a time, which was for weight loss, not for diabetes. Don't be a bitch. Them, not you. But I was on this medication, and it was using one of the clicky pens, right? And it had the microfine needles at the end. This is such like a medical industry cast at the start of the gaming episode, by the way.
Yeah, gaming episode. We'll bring it back. We'll bring it back around.
The microfine needles, right? The teeny tiny ones hurt way more than the regular needles. They hurt way more. Because like my mum, she taught me how to administer them, right? And I have a lot of subcut area, right? There is a lot of fat on my body.
Beth Gurley.
Insulin, it was usually subcut, right? When you're giving it. But this was subcut. And so I was finding a spot on my belly. But my mum, I was like, who's an RN, by the way? RN for like 40 years. Long time listener, right? Hi, Mum. She would like jam the needle in and like twist it, like basically like try and go up and in. And then it would like, I was like, ah. And so I associated this medication with pain, and then I started self-administering it, and it stopped hurting.
Like, oh.
But like, she was a nurse
Mum's
for
patience.
years. Oh my God. But that's what I was thinking. That's what I was saying. I was like, is that, what the fuck?
What the fuck? Oh, yeah, no.
It was bad. But like, she taught me how to do it. Like, my mum taught me a bunch of stuff with nursing, namely that I shouldn't be doing it. She was like, I think you'll hate it. I don't think you should do nursing. It sucks.
And you were like, fuck you, Mum. I'm going to do what I want. And then you do it and you're like, you were right.
I held off quitting for so long. I did all of the theory. I held off quitting because I didn't want her to be right. I was like she said I was going to be a shit nurse. No, she said I'd be a good nurse, but that I'd hate it.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what happened. Yeah. I was like, I loved learning it. I loved, but the actual job, I went into this nightmare care facility, and they were like, it was like, I would say environmental elder abuse, honestly.
Shit.
And so I couldn't, it broke my spirit and I left. I was like, and that's what happens to a lot. Like these non-paid placements, they asked me, because I was going for my new job, which I've been there for 2 years. So this is how old this happened. This is old news, right? But I went to start my training, which was a month of full-time training at my new job. And school were like, oh, next week we've booked you in for a placement, which is 2 weeks of all day, every day, 9 to 5. So I said, oh, I can't do that because...
Fuck no.
Yeah, right? Because I had organized with my work to only do weekend shifts, right?
Yeah.
So I was just going to be Saturday, Sunday, which they were amazing, right? That's so rare with companies that, like, the sort of industry that I'm in. For them to be so accommodating with you is fucking rare, right? And so I have to do this month of training. I'm like, I'm really sorry, I can't do it this month, this cycle. You'll have to get me in the next one. They said, well, unfortunately, if you're not willing to do the placement, we'll have to terminate. Like, you'll have to start from the start. I was in the third phase of a diploma, right? Third phase. And I hadn't, because it was COVID times, I hadn't, the placements were all fucked. And I was just doing my aged care at the end, right? So I knew all the stuff, but I had no clinical experience at all, right?
Yeah.
And so they were like, well, you'll have to start from the start. Sorry, we don't make the rules. And I was like, you do make the rules. What do you mean you don't make the rules?
You literally make the rules.
Because I deferred already. I deferred in the middle because at COVID times, it was just awful. Like, studying nursing during COVID, it was just fucked. Because it was all online. And I'm like, what's the point of nursing? There's so, like, obviously there's a ton of theory that you can intake online, right? Easy peasy. But a lot of it's like making beds. I went to my first placement, didn't really know how to make a bed. I didn't know a lot of the physical skills like showering. Because it happened so long ago, I wasn't re-upping those skills.
No, yeah.
So it was just awful. Like,
it's all practice, yeah. And getting into clinic and yeah.
Exactly. There should be like a special fund for nurses who study. And then nurses, they should be paid by the government to be nurses just indefinitely.
Yeah. Yeah. No, absolutely. It's I think both fields are just a bit of a shit show. So that's why we don't do that anymore, everybody.
I mean,
so
in vet nursing,
it back.
Yeah, true. All right, fair enough.
Because I feel like we could both talk about this forever. I have so many stories. Like, we almost need like a whole episode just on that. But I feel like it might just be depressing, at least from my side.
Yeah, probably just a bit.
But so today I'm wearing a gamer-friendly gamer shirt. I'm wearing
One Shot Girl? Is it One Shot Girl?
Yes, One Shot Girl. Yeah.
How many headshots do you get in, Ellie?
Any what?
Headshots. How many headshots are you usually getting? The one shots.
Not enough. Not as many as I would like.
Yes, fair enough.
But One Shot Girl is actually a Twitch streamer. I don't know if you've seen her. Yeah. This is her. Like, this is actual merch, which is why I was.
Hang on. I've just spotted something on your arm. Is that an Elder Wand tattoo?
No. Wait, where? This?
No. Oh my god. I thought your millennial levels on your right forearm here. I was like, yep, I thought that was a wand. I thought that was what is it?
No, it's just like I drew this.
Oh, nice.
And it says Luna, like the moon, and it's just some witchy bullshit that
because I saw it.
Definitely not a Harry Potter reference.
I was like, have you leveled up your millennial game? Like, you're that powerful now?
No, I think we discussed this. I know my house. I kind of enjoy the movies. That's about as Harry Potter-esque as I get.
I'm wearing a Boba Fett t-shirt, and he's actually a streamer as well. He's a local produce, right?
Accurate. Who is our favorite? Do you have a favorite streamer? Do you watch a lot of Twitch?
Be honest.
Or even YouTube, I guess, these days is kind of like up there with game streaming.
Twitch is a realm that it came in at a time that I was quite depressed. And I was like, oh, I'd love to make Twitch content. Yeah. But watching Twitch content, I feel like it's hard to like, I don't know, because you almost have to like zone out a bit while watching it, I find. Unless they're really, really entertaining. You're like, you're watching it while folding washing, or you're watching it like while taking a shit. Like, you're doing other stuff.
For me, because I'm always doing something else.
You're always taking a shit.
I'm always, like I'm a mum, so I'm always doing something else now. And I just I have my emotional support TV on at all times. Please don't call the police on me. I try to make sure my baby's not watching, but I just like having stuff on, I just, it's whether it's like YouTube, and if it's YouTube, it's game content anyway. It's either like Rust or Apex, just playing, because usually they're long form video content. So I don't need to worry about changing it or like picking something else to watch, because then that's extra mental load for me to be like, what do I want to watch? And then you don't watch it because you're doing something else anyway. So I think that's why like live, gaming is good.
Yeah.
You can like sort of check in every now and then.
My that is with podcasts. I do the same thing with My Favorite Murder and The Bold and the Beautiful, Trixie and Katya's podcast. That is the best podcast on the internet. I'm sorry, I don't make the rules. It is the best.
This one?
Okay, the best woman-led podcast on the internet, right? 2 women, Trixie and Katya.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because we're both men, so.
Oh, yeah.
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 Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
I have a pretty big dick. Yeah.
True. I don't, but that's all right. Hi, Mum. So, Twitch streamers, I've watched a few. There's this guy that's called Handsome Guy. Have you seen him on TikTok? He he does a lot of Minecraft, but like I watch his Twitch clips on TikTok, so I think that's cheating. I think that's cheating, probably.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of Twitch streamers, I guess, have, they do TikTok, they do YouTube, they do the whole, I count it. I count.
Yeah, hope so.
If they're gaming, like, so does he clip actual Minecraft clips, or is it like I am the arsehole on top of the, those things we were talking about the other episode? Or is it like that?
Oh, no, it's not that.
The Minecraft jumping.
It's usually him interacting with stream, and he'll be like, and the other day he got a comment that was, that jacket is slutty, and he's like, this is my grandfather's jacket. Are you implying something? Like, it just made me laugh because he has like such a deadpan voice, but he's so handsome. He's handsome guy, right? He's gorgeous. Anyways, who's yours? Who's on repeat?
I watch so many people. I think one of my all-time favorite, I mean, to be fair, I'm usually watching their content on YouTube, but I watch a lot of Spoon Kid Rust because I find his voice so satisfying to listen to, and Craig always laughs at me because I'll turn on the TV and it just, like, the algorithm just gives me Rust content now because it just knows. So it just constantly like plays, and Craig's like, okay, Spooners, let's go. And I'm like,
Spooners.
Yes.
So, okay. So Spooners to me is the term, like the spoon theory for autism.
Oh, yeah.
Is that what it's about? Is that?
I don't know. I don't know where his like name originated from. I'd have to Google it actually, but I do know that his girlfriend on online, her name's Fork Girl.
So it's fork and spoon.
I find funny. Yeah.
So together they're spork.
I guess so. Yeah. Yeah.
Hey.
But I think she came sort of like later on and like added like to sort of like match his vibe. But yeah, a lot of Rust content. I feel like Rust is one of those games which you introduced me to Rust originally. And I remember
sorry about
when
that.
we jumped, literally, it's one of those games that it's like a full-time job. It's a full-time job to play Rust. And I love it and I hate it all at the same time.
Yes, because I got you first started on a private server that I had.
Right? The worst way to teach someone to play Rust ever is put them. I'm like, what is this game? Okay, it's a survival game. Okay, cool. Let's dive in. You know, I've played 7 Days to Die. Kind of understand. Let's jump in and we're playing on your private server. That's just like you don't have to find anything. Everything's there. You can build whatever you want. It's like you've got all the cheats on.
Nobody's trying to kill you.
Nobody's trying to kill you. The main thing. No one's there.
Well, except me.
Except you, yeah. And you build this like role player base situation on the water, and I'm like, we can fish, cool, let's go fishing, and like just oh my god, all this bullshit. And then I jump into quote unquote real Rust, vanilla Rust, and like literally within the first 5 minutes, a man is chasing me. I'm naked on the beach, as if you played Rust, you know. I'm running around. This guy's chasing me, oinking at me like a pig. And I'm like, what's this game? What is this? What have I got myself into?
But that's why I don't play pub servers. And when I do, I join you guys after 2 days because Craig, Ellie's partner, goes in, does
Builds a base.
everything. He's set up a base. He's got RPGs. He's got everything in like 2 days after wipe.
Yeah. So you get in, you're like, hello, can I please have a bag in your base?
Yeah, exactly.
We're like, okay.
Do you remember? So in Rust, there's a way that you can like wire up doors to press a button and open your garage doors.
Yeah.
One time, me and Ellie had a base with no less than 20 garage doors, right? And they're really hard to explode in the game. So we were like, we're so safe. And I was
Super
like,
safe.
oh, but what if someone gets in? We need a system that we can press and all the doors close, right?
Yeah. Because otherwise, when you're sitting in the base, it's annoying to open them and shut them all the time. So usually you have them open when you're in the base, right? Yeah.
I had not considered the fact that anyone could press that button if they got through one wall. And so they literally got in through one wall, press a button, all the walls lifted, and they got all our shit.
Yeah, and then they griefed us too.
Yeah,
They
griefed us hard.
They built. I'm trying to like explain for people that haven't played Rust. So they like built in front of our doors so that we couldn't get back in. And when they put their own doors on, you can't open those doors. So we're just,
It was so fucked.
logging back in and being like, what? And we were just trapped in our own
All
base.
gone.
All of our stuff is gone and we're locked in here.
Do you remember when those guys, I say guys, but I mean 12-year-olds, were at our front window and they were like, oh, show us your boobs or we're going to raid you on Instagram.
Bob's and
Do you remember
Vagine. Yes.
It was like it was a horde.
You don't want
It
to
was
be
like
a girl
10
gamer on Rust.
It was 10, 12-year-olds. And Ellie had a gamer tag.
Yeah, which is Ashlyn. Yeah.
Which is Ashlyn. And they were like, oh, what's your Instagram? Tell us your Instagram and we won't raid you. And she was like, no, which, by the way, was your gamer tag,
Yeah,
right,
literally the same. But yes, I'm like, please don't Google my name. Yeah. Obviously, they didn't go on my Steam profile or anything either.
No,
because I think I changed it, but I think once upon a time I did have them like linked because I was doing some streaming. So I was doing like Twitch streaming under the tag of Ashlyn Wolf, and like I had it all kind of coincided together. So I had it all like linked up. But I think I've sort of privated a lot of my Steam profile now because of that little interaction and other interactions with generic Rust players.
Yes. But what happened was, I think we actually antagonized them to begin with. I'm pretty sure you killed someone on their horse and they returned with like 50 12-year-olds. But they're all begging for pussy pics. And I was like, you guys are children. You're asking her to commit a crime. Like, what do you mean? Grief the base. Right. Grief the base. Just do it. And then they did.
Yeah, they did. And then we got
raided.
Yeah.
And then they did. And then they did. Hey.
It's just a day in the life. Yeah. So I feel like I almost enjoy watching Rust content more
than playing.
Also because
it's less stressful.
you know how many hours they must have to put in to make those videos. It's the same with like Blueprint and Stevie do amazing, like they go full editing wise with their videos. Like they turn them into full movies essentially. Like Stevie even calls them movies. They're like 3 hours long, full content of like, you know, a full wipe essentially. Like usually a wipe is, you know, either 2 weeks or a month depending on what server you're on. So it's like this full movie of how everything happened. There's usually like a revenge story in there. And you get all that in 3 hours. Whereas if you played Rust, you'd still be chasing nakeds with bows.
Yes.
After 3 hours. Like you don't get the good stuff.
I'm starving to death because all of my mushrooms that I picked have been eaten.
Yeah. That's exactly it. So it's, it's, I mean, every now and then I'm like, oh man, maybe I'll just jump on and I'll just make a little base and it'll be, you know, and then someone
cute.
Yeah, just to be a bit cute. Just, you
someone
know.
comes and draws a swastika on the outside.
Because
that is the base level Rust player.
Yeah.
They, I'm not saying they're all Nazis, but it's most of them.
Yeah, it's a lot of
but they come and do terrible things to you. Just constantly.
But then there's also the other side of just wholesome interactions. It's such
Our
a wide
Crosby.
variety.
Our friend Crosby. We met in Rust.
Hi, Crosby. Literally met Crosby in Rust. Literally, me and Craig, little noobs running around. We're like, we're gonna make our base. And then we found a base that was like half, we thought it was raided, but turns out, I think it was probably just decayed.
Right.
So we rock up and we're like, oh, we should take over this because, you know, why not? So
nobody's using it.
No one's using this. Put our own doors on. There's a TC in there and we authorize on it. Didn't realize we had to clear the authorization because we're noobs. They come back to their base, still have build privilege, build us inside, trapping us in, and they're like, what are you guys doing? Do you not like? And then I think Crosby just felt bad for us because he's like, these guys are idiots and have never played this game in their life, and literally then sought out to teach us. He's like, you need to clear the authorization, and then taught us.
You stupid babies.
Yeah. You small stupid babies. And then turns out we live like not far from each other, like an hour's drive. So we're now like IRL friends. So
it's very similar to how you and I met.
I know.
You and I met. We met through a game, Apex Legends. Originally, I met her partner, Craig. And we met in-game. He was playing a character called Pathfinder, and I was playing a character called, I think, Bloodhound. But it was truly one of my very first games when the game first launched. And it was so like... long ago.
What year was that?
Oh, years ago, dude. Years and years and years ago. I think
0.
it's like 3 years now.
We were still in the van. We were playing games in a camper van. And I remember Craig being like, you need to play this game. It's so fun. And I'm like, oh, yeah, okay.
Shooters. And now you play it way more than him.
Because he just moves on to the next thing.
Yes.
And I'm like, I want to play Apex forever.
I've been playing The Sims for the past 30 years. Right? What do you mean? Yeah.
Right? I just get hooked on one thing. I'm like, what's wrong with that? I'm happy. I don't have to pay for new games.
Originally, so I was kind of a slut back then. I was trying to razz her boyfriend. I was like, hey, he was like, oh, do you want to add me on Discord? And I was like, yeah, of course. Absolutely.
That's
we'll play games together. Like. And then
like,
I get in.
You're like, you got such a sexy accent.
I was like, oh my God, you're exotic. Where are you from?
Say fashion chops.
I know. Oh my God, I want to be beached ears, but on your dick. So I joined this Discord. And then we're playing games together, and I would just, I get the inkling that he's straight, but also he's very secure with his sexuality, so he's willing to joke.
Yeah.
But that's very confusing for gay men because we're like,
yes,
is he?
Because he's also the straightest person in the entire world.
Absolutely.
Which is so funny because I'm bisexual, but then like he's like an ally. He's like the biggest ally. So you get a bit confused because you're like,
yes, exactly. Because usually straight men, they don't wash their butts, and he washes his butt, and I could taste it. You know what I mean? But he goes, this is my girlfriend Ellie. And then as soon as you jumped on, I was like, I'm gonna be obsessed with this woman. I was like immediately, move out of Craig. Push him out of the way.
Yeah, I was like, honey, thank you so much. Now get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, I'm sorry, you're done. Get out.
This is my friend now.
Yeah, and then it was less than a year later that I think you went to Supernatural Con without Craig, and we met in person in a hotel room in Melbourne. Very sus.
I know.
And then I kicked you out of the well, it was a sordid affair because we had that terrible Chinese food.
Oh.
And it immediately made me sick.
Yeah.
And I was like, so she was going to walk me to the train station because I had to go home. And I was like,
and you're like,
hey, can I take a shit in your bathroom? Because it was like an hour and a half train ride home.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, can I take a shit? And you were like, yeah, of course, like just go. And I'm like,
I was like, I don't have to clean it. I'll live here.
I literally said, I was like, I can't shit with you in the room. And so I kicked her out of her hotel room to take a shit in her bathroom.
I'm like, I'm paying $200 a night for this hotel room, but you go for it, girl.
Yeah. Blow it up. Blow it up. I'm not cleaning it.
Yeah.
Fuck. I was so embarrassed, but I was like, you gotta do what you got. I've got IBS because of cancer, so she knows. Fine. She is happy with it.
Fine.
She's not thrilled, but she's happy with it.
Yeah. I mean, I knew you well enough by that point. We just hadn't, met IRL, but it was fun. But that Chinese food did us so dirty. I was so mad.
Oh, it was so expensive.
Right. Inner city Melbourne Chinese food, and I'm like, this is gonna be like the best Chinese food we've ever had, and it's gonna be like such a great night, and then just.
Because it had a 5-star rating, and I was like, who? There was no taste to it. There was no taste. I was like,
no seasoning.
This is the blandest Chinese, and then I realized why it had such high ratings. The whiteys. The whiteys. The whiteys were like, this is delicious. It's cardboard. They're eating the packaging. Yeah.
It's a bit spicy.
This
Turn down
milk
the
is very
spice a
spicy.
little bit.
Fuck.
You know what I find on it? Just a mini tangent. I'll bring it back.
Oh, you mean as if this hasn't been a mini fucking tangent this whole time?
Not like every episode is a mini tangent.
Maxi tangent.
In New Zealand, when we get curry, doesn't matter which curry place you go to, you can order what level of spice you want
Yes. Yeah.
for any curry. I have not found that here. Here, Australia. It's not a thing.
They will
get what you
usually
get.
preface on the menu. They'll say hot
Yeah.
or not hot, or they'll have like a chili or a not chili.
Yeah. So it's kind of like you're gonna get this, and it's gonna fucking blow up your butthole.
Yeah.
That's it. There is no choice here.
Can I tell you a story that has long haunted my family?
Sure.
So there is an Indian restaurant in the town that I live, which is not going to be displayed here. And when my parents were together, not to blow up their spot, but they got divorced ages ago. But when they were together, my dad was such an idiot. We went into this Indian restaurant, and we were the only people there. We were a crew of 6 whiteys in an Indian restaurant it has the best food. The best food, right? The best food. When I'm used to eating like fish and chops and like shit pizza from down the road, I was like, this is delicious. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He got like butter chicken or something like that, and he sent it back to the kitchen 4 times because it wasn't spicy enough.
For my anxiety could never.
I
That's
couldn't
such
do
a
it
boomer
once.
move.
I couldn't do it once, dog.
That's insane.
What do you mean?
No.
And
I'd
then
be like, this
the
is
server
great.
was like, okay. And then on the 4th time, it came back so spicy.
Yeah.
It came back. His face was red.
Oh,
His face was red. He couldn't handle it. They were like, all right, fuck
feel
this,
like-
dude.
I feel like after the second time, I would
Then
have
what
been
do you
like,
say?
you want
What do you
spicy?
say? Yeah.
You little bitch. You want spice?
Okay.
Like
Yeah,
just a whole
exactly.
thing of like
Fuck.
Why
what
would
a
you-
dickhead. What
butter
a
chicken
dickhead.
of all the things.
I
Like you
love
get
him.
butter chicken because
It's
you're
a
like,
butter-
I don't want it spicy.
It was something like butter chicken. It was one of the whiteys, one of the white people.
Or like mango
food.
chicken.
Yeah, something like that.
You know?
But it was not spicy enough, not enough chili. And then my mum is having a panic attack because she's like me. Surprise.
She's like, please.
Surprise.
Please.
She was like, what the fuck are you doing? Stop it. And I was like, hey, you got a point. You know what I mean?
Yeah. At least you guys were the only people in the restaurant.
But that's worse
wasn't-
because the spotlight was on us.
Yeah.
And so-
but at least other people went like, they're judging you from the next table. I don't know.
Yeah, true.
I feel like at no point is that.
It was so weird because
but-
my dad, I think he was doing it to fuck with my mum, to be honest.
Oh.
Because he's not, none of us are fussy eaters, right? None of us.
Yeah.
We get what we get. I've gotten entirely wrong orders before, just eating it.
And you're like,
Like,
thank you.
hey, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like one
Shit my
time I
food,
ordered,
thanks so much.
I literally had a medium vegetarian pizza once and got what's called a fisherman's basket, which is like a tower of seafood. And I'm like, I don't really like seafood. I guess I'll eat it. I was like,
how's this meal going? Great.
it's great. How's your pizza? Looking at me shovel oysters into my mouth. Fuck. It's for like a team of like 20 people to eat. And I'm like one fat cunt, you know what I mean? So I had to like give a little bit out to each of my family members, but God.
So the chefs were just like, no.
Yeah.
He's having the fisherman's basket.
Blob.
That's-
yeah. Healthy pizza? No. Fish and chips
Which
for
is
12.
just like, they wanted a pizza and he's like, I think you got that wrong. That's not what he's getting.
No. He said 12 pizzas of fish. I'm pretty sure that's what he said. Yeah.
They just made the decision for you.
But the thing is, I mean, we only got charged for a medium pizza, so hey.
I
It
mean,
was like $60 worth of seafood for like $20.
How did they fuck it up that bad? That's so funny.
I think they would have just given it to the wrong table, to be honest. And I didn't say no because I was
And the
too
other person
nervous.
also was an anxious Gen Z, and they were like, "No, I can't."
I
say
guess
anything
I
yet."
guess
they
I'm
paid,
eating pizza.
They paid $60 for a fisherman's basket. It got a tiny pizza, and
Their
they're like,
table of 12. Their table of 12 got one medium pizza to share.
and they're all like, "Thank you."
This was when I was like fully like 10 or 12. I was so young and I couldn't fuck with the oysters. I couldn't fuck with the prawns. People who eat the head on prawns.
You
And they
don't
go,
eat the head stuff. Oh yeah. Mm-mm.
I can't dismantle food like that and then eat it in my mouth. I can't do it.
No.
Just like people shucking oysters at the table. I'm like, you are going to cut yourself.
No. But I feel like it's worse when they have faces. I don't.
Oh, yeah. You have to look into their cold, beady black eyes.
Yes, no, not a fan of that. Though I like prawns, but I like them to be dead. And
prawns give me a bit of a panic attack because it's like to have like a bowl of prawns, you're eating no less than 30 dead things. You know what I mean? That always freaks me out a bit. It always freaks me out a bit.
Giving me a complex now. I may never eat prawns again.
That's the thing, but I'm constantly aware of that sort of thing, right? And like chicken nuggets is the same.
Oh no! Don't do the chicken nuggets to me.
Sorry, sorry, everyone. Never mind.
Never
mind. They're not made of chicken. Yeah.
No.
No,
chicken. It's like that. It's like that poor video of that girl that learns that chicken nuggets are chickens. Dude. Have you seen that video? I have to find it, and it's just she's like this little 8-year-old girl, and she's like sort of finally correlated that like chicken nuggets and chicken. Like she went to a farm and met some chickens and was like,
widowy, what the hell?
Yeah, and then she refused to eat chicken nuggets ever again.
You know what happened with me? My mum used to cook veal schnitzel all the time.
Oh no.
And I watched that South Park episode where they tell you what veal is, which is tortured baby cow. And I was like, we're not eating that ever again. And it was like my mum's favorite meal. And I'm like, I'm sorry, but like, no. And then all the vegans in the comments will be like, well, what about the adult cows? They still have it. It's different. It's different.
Yeah, pick your battles. Like the battle when I was like to mum, I'm going to be a vegetarian. And then the next day she was like, KFC?
Chicken's a vegetable,
I was
right?
like, are you shitting me?
So when I had cancer, I wasn't able to eat solids for a month because I had jaw surgery. And my mum the next day, I got back from hospital. My mum the next day, steaks, everyone. I couldn't chew.
Yes.
And she was like, "Oh, just like chop it up really small and swallow it." I'm like, "That's not how. What?
Couldn't make soup,
stew, mashed potatoes. You know what I mean?" But every single day, it was like increasing hardness in food. We fully got to the end of the month, and she's like, "All right, here's your tray of obsidian rocks." Like, it was fucked up. It was like harder and harder food. So I'm like, I cannot chew. I haven't been able to eat. You know what I mean?
And the fact that your mum is a nurse just makes it that much funnier because she knows. She's doing you so dirty.
She did me so dirty. So my brother had just moved home, and he's like a carnivore. Basically, he hates vegetables. And it's weird because I love vegetables. I know it doesn't look like it, but I do. And he refuses to eat vegetables of any kind. And he only likes steak. So she was making steaks and she was like, all right, here's what we'll do. I'll soak your steak in bicarbonate soda and hammer it down so it's softened. I'm like, I could just eat chips. You know what I mean?
Are screaming right now. I hope she wasn't getting like fancy porterhouse like wagyu like fucking
oh no, it was rump.
Steak.
It was rump.
Okay, well at least okay.
Lepovo. It wasn't going to be porterhouse.
Just make a fucking
T-bone bone-in steak.
Yeah, like a hardcore
sirloins
steak, and then she's just no. Speaking of mash, you said mash, and it made me think of this meme. And we also talked about energy drinks earlier, so I feel like I need to send this to you, and then you need to open it and enjoy, and then you can put it in this podcast because it made me lol. Ignore the fact that I did not
crop it
screenshot this very well. I did not crop it.
Your monster mash! What the fuck?
Which is so good for Halloween also.
Ew.
I know.
What the fuck?
I know.
That's okay. Have you seen Sonic
green.
Curry? Have you seen the Sonic Curry?
No. What the fuck?
Okay, I'm sending this to you now. Look at it. That was a product that they sold. I think it was the early 2000s. And it was a microwavable Sonic Curry that was blue.
I feel like we need a full episode on just how vulgar the 90s was with food.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Like,
the purple ketchup? Do you remember that?
I was literally just about to say that.
And the smell.
And didn't they do a
green one? Do you remember the
one?
smell? Yes, they did a green one for Shrek.
I don't know how much... I don't know what it smells like because my mother would never. She refused.
Oh, really? My sister stacked on a fucking turn. Stacked on a turn. Because it came on to Nickelodeon. It was on like a Nickelodeon ad.
Yeah.
I think it was on a Nickelodeon ad. And
yeah, that makes sense because they had like the
Yeah.
I want to say
Kids'
squirt,
Choice Awards.
Gungy, like the green. Yeah.
The slime.
The slime. Yeah.
So it came on, and my sister was like, "We're getting that. Oh, we're getting that." And so we got it, right? She's Scottish.
She's
for some
Shrek.
reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Disgusting.
Don't care. She fully forced my mum, like a gunpoint, to Safeways, because it was called Safeways back then, to get this fucking oobleck looking tomato sauce. And it smelled like Play-Doh. Like, I'm not kidding. It smelled like tomato sauce mixed with Play-Doh. And I mean, I was at that point, I was like 4 or 5 years old. So I was a Play-Doh connoisseur. I would eat it all the time. It got to the point where my mum made like homemade Play-Doh because I was eating it. Give me the kinetic
it's just
sand.
flour and water and food colour.
How are they stopping kids from eating oobleck? How are they stopping kids from eating slime now?
I mean,
Do they just trust them to be smart?
No.
Because
no.
I knew a girl in primary school who, you know those little bags of Doritos? And I really hope she sees this because she's going to know exactly you know who you are. Mm-hmm. So she used to get her Dorito or her Arnott's shaped biscuit.
Yeah.
Rub it in the dirt on the ground, and then put it in her mouth and say, extra flavoring, and then eat it. And she did that for the whole bag of Doritos. Extra flavoring.
It's like she was doing a bit, but no one laughed, so she just kept doing it. She's like,
She
extra
actually
flavor,
liked
and then
it.
she's like,
but she did it every time. Every time. This bitch is eating dirt. You know what I mean? But her immune system must be crazy. You know what I mean? She must have.
Oh yeah.
She must be like fully. They should do studies. I bet she's never gotten COVID.
Oh. They need to do vaccine trials on her.
Or she's fucking patient zero who ate the pangolin. She
with extra dirt.
Oh, dude, extra flavor.
Extra flavor.
Fuck, dude. She is. Okay, what I will say is, there must be something in the dirt because she is truly one of the most gorgeous people I've ever seen. But I still wonder if she eats dirt. I wonder if she's still eating dirt because she did it in year 6. You know what I mean? Like year 6 you're about to be in high school. That's late. That's late.
That is late. What age is that for our international listeners? I say that like we've got a huge international following.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Just insane. I think prep starts at 5. So it's
11,
prep 1,
12.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I like how I need to count. So 5 plus 7. 12.
We're like 12.
Carry the 2, divided by 1. Yeah, exactly.
Look,
I don't have that many
not
fingers.
Our strong suits, okay? Not our strong suits. English, yes. Maths, no.
English is also not my strong suit. I don't know what my strong suit is, but I'll let you know when I find out. Yeah,
that's fair. That's fair.
I'll keep you posted.
I was thinking about how your dad sent that meal back, and how that is such the most boomer thing in the entire world. Like it comes down to the whole Karen thing, right? Like it's only boomers, and they always are complaining about something. Like when you worked retail, and we've both worked retail, it's always the old people.
It's the oldies.
It's
and
always the old people.
They have no chill.
No young person has come in and just ripped me a new arsehole working retail, or even working at a vet clinic. Just, I don't understand why it's always old people.
Once.
Oh, really?
Once. I want to say drug-affected young person came into my petrol station at one point. Although he wasn't that young. He would have been your age, so like 45 probably. And he came in.
Bitch. Absolute
No,
bitch.
but he would have been in like 40 probably, right?
I mean, I know that I've aged since I've had a baby, but not that much.
By about 8 months. So I was working, it was a night shift. I did mostly night shifts there.
Yeah.
Night shifts at petrol stations are fucking
That's a
something
whole
else.
nother, yeah.
It's something else. It's scary, spooky bitch times.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm working there. It was a BP, and it's on a main road, and I see this dude sort of like limping, and it's spooky hour, mind you. It's the witching hour, and he limps over, and I can't see what he's got because like the displays are like blocking half the window, and so he gets to the front of the front doors, and I look at him. I'm like, he's not wearing a hood. He's not wearing anything. Can't see anything in his hands. He limps inside. Trail of blood Ellie, trail of blood behind him. I've just mopped. Trail of
You're
blood.
like, this bitch.
I was literally thinking, this bitch, what the fuck? And I just started my nursing course. I'm like, I'm not ready for this. You know what I mean? So he comes up to the front. He goes to the refrigerators. So basically, the store's layout is like, if you imagine a big rectangle, right? The door is at the very back left corner of the rectangle. I'm at the bottom left, right? So he has to come all the way down. Yes.
And you're
so
like, bitch, I have to mop that whole thing.
Dude, he went to the top right, down, through the aisle, back to the left, down, back another aisle to the right. Blood. Pouring blood, right? Not like a little bleed, like not quite arterial spray, but a spray, like a good, he would have lost, it was like at least a liter of blood.
The fuck was bleeding? What, like his leg? Like what?
So
like
I couldn't see, right? I couldn't see until there was an ice cream fridge, right? One of those ice cream fridges that come up to waist height, right?
Yeah.
He goes there and I'm thinking, oh, he's picking himself up an ice cream to enjoy while he's bleeding, right? And he gets his leg and bang onto the ice cream fridge. And that's when I see it. A compound ankle fracture. Bone sticking out, Beverly. Bone sticking out.
oh my god.
Bone sticking out.
And he's like,
bleeding
I need to put
on my
this bitch
ice cream.
on ice. Like, let me get to the nearest ice. Let me just.
I think it was just the closest thing to, like, he could look at it, but he was on drugs. Very obviously on drugs.
Yeah, I mean, you wouldn't just
And
waltz
so I
into
was
a
like,
BP with a
I
compound fracture without being
What
on
the
some kind
fuck?
of meth.
And what I found out later was we looked on the cameras and he was hobbling. He was pushing a motorbike. He'd been in a motorcycle accident, obviously off his tits on drugs.
Jesus Christ.
And so I called out to him. I'm like, hey, can I call you an ambulance? Can I please call you an ambulance? And he goes,
like, no.
He said no. He said no. I've already been to the hospital. And I was like, you came from the opposite direction.
No, baby.
What do you mean you've been to the hospital? I literally said that. I was like, are you sure? Because they wouldn't have let you go like that.
Yeah.
I know, you know what I mean? And he goes, yeah, they wouldn't give me anything for the pain. And so I just left. And I'm like, your insides are outside right now.
Like, babe.
What do you mean? And he goes, I do need you to call someone, though. Can you call my girlfriend and tell her that I'm here?
Oh, God. And you're like, does that mean you're just going to hang out here?
That's my first thought. I was like, so are you setting up camp? Like, I didn't know what the fuck to do. Are you going to bleed
out
right?
on my floor?
So
You're like,
tells me,
actually, I kind of need to close up for the night.
Yeah, sorry, we're actually closed right now. 24 hour.
You're like,
but dude, you know what? Actually, it was getting close to 4 a.m. and that's when the tradies start coming in for their cigarettes and their pies. So I'm like
actually,
they're going to get here.
Pies.
I need to clean up this dude's hepatitis blood because I'm like, you know what I mean? And he's jaundiced and bleeding and it was just
Christ.
terrible. It was just terrible, right? And I felt so bad for him because I'm like, but he didn't even notice it. It almost like he didn't notice the pain. He wasn't wincing. He wasn't moaning. He wasn't crying. There was no abnormal flexion. It was odd, right? Odd. Because I just learned pain assessment, like just learned it.
Yeah.
And I was looking at him. I'm like, I can see the bone. I can see the bone. And he wouldn't let me call him an ambulance because he didn't want to go to hospital. I'm like, but that is his choice, right? Yeah. In my mind, that's his choice. He really should go to hospital.
Yeah.
But I can't force him.
No.
And
and also, ambulances aren't free, I guess, over here.
In this country.
So then you're kind of forcing that on him as well.
Yes.
Which is kind of,
But I didn't know what to do because I was quite young.
Yeah.
And so I didn't know what to do at all. And I couldn't go out and help him because it's store policy. If someone's in the store, you can't leave that little console, right?
No, yeah.
I didn't know what the fuck to do with him, right? I should have left this one for the Halloween episode because this is he was a ghoul, right? So I call his girlfriend. She goes, "Who the fuck is this?" And I was like,
"Oh,
hi, this is Bradley. I'm from blah 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 petrol station. I'm just calling to let you know we have your partner here. He wanted me to let you know that he is here and that, you know, he's not off because he was worried that she would think he was cheating on her, right?
Oh my God.
And I was like, it looks like he's been in a little bit of an accident. Can you come and get him? And she goes, why doesn't he just ride his stupid fucking bike home? And I was like,
his bone is sticking out of his ankle.
I
so
literally
I don't
said,
think
I was
that's
like,
gonna happen.
so, he's currently bleeding and his ankle's sticking out and it kind of, he says his motorcycle's wrecked because he was in an accident. She goes, fuck. It's like a 5-minute drive. And I'm like, okay.
Wait, she was complaining that it was that
pissed.
short?
She was pissed that it was like a 5-minute, like it was so long for her to come and, you know what I mean? She was fighting me on this. This is her husband partner, right? And so she sounds like a delight.
Oh,
no wonder he was out for a midnight ride on crack. But he had got... it was so bad.
You know what?
So
Couples
bad.
goals.
Right? And so he's like, oh my God, thank you so much. Like, I just don't know how to prove to her that I'm here. I'm like, because she's picking you up from here. But because he was getting really like upset and agitated, I was like, here's this, right? Here's this. We have a stamp, right? When we do invoices, whenever we take a delivery, we stamp it with the store details, right?
Yeah.
I wrote him a little note saying, oh, he came in at this time. He, you know, presented this way. And then I stamped it with this stamp for him to take to his girlfriend, which I thought was so fucking funny.
Gave him a fucking alibi.
I gave him a doctor's note. I fully gave him a doctor's note. For this insane chick that he's with. She was nuts. She was nuts. But, like, he was nuts, so maybe they're perfect together. Who knows?
Probably, yeah. I
but,
hope they haven't procreated. Jesus
That is,
Christ.
like, one of the craziest stories from working at a petrol station. But then, as soon as he came out, I was like, relief, blood. And then I had to clean.
And then you're like, great, yay.
Great, wonderful. Because there's nobody else, you know what I mean? It's not like I can call in a hazmat team.
No, yeah.
I had to call my manager and I'm like, what do I do here? What do I do here?
They're like, just double up the bleach in the bucket, you'll be right.
That's literally what he said.
Yeah.
That's literally what he said. He was like, wear new gloves, wear new everything, wear PPE. And I was like, okay. He was actually quite a good manager, but actually he should have come in because I wasn't trained to do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And he probably should have just come in to check that you were okay. But I mean...
Petrol station bosses aren't going to do that.
Wow.
We've got to be realistic.
Yeah, that's true. Speaking of blood, Titanfall 3. I'm trying really hard to bring it back. I'm trying not to tangent. I'm trying this week.
That was a king tangent. King tangent.
It really was. It really was. But it was a good one. It was a good one.
Dude.
I loved it.
Bleeding on my ice creams.
So I keep reading a ton of stuff. Like all the lore. We have played a little bit of Titanfall 2 recently, you and I, which has been fun.
One night of Titanfall, and then I was like,
Yeah, you're like, this not for me.
I got absolutely
Which is interesting because we love Apex. Apex.
So
but
different.
There's a lot of differences. Whereas, I mean, obviously they still have a lot of the same, it's obviously from the same company, from Respawn, a lot of the same guns and stuff. But
same
just
universe.
The whole movement aspect of Titanfall.
So different.
So different with the wall running and stuff. But it took me a little bit of time to get into it, but I really like it. I really do like it. And it's, I am excited. I hope that everyone, when I say everyone, I mean the internets and Reddit is correct and that there is a Titanfall 3 coming. But it's so hard to know whether or not they're just fucking with us and it's just going to be something in Apex.
Or like a DLC for Titanfall 2.
Well, it's hard to know because they're doing all these updates in Titanfall 2. And it's like, why would they be updating this old fucking game
10 years
for
old
no
game.
reason? And they haven't said anything. They just did it. They just did it slyly. And someone noticed, and then another person noticed, and more people noticed, and then it just grew. Like Titanfall hasn't Respawn and EA, they haven't like put out a thing being like, "Hey guys."
It's also let's be real with Respawn.
Stuff.
They're not very good with updates.
No,
they're not very good with updates.
So, I mean, and there's just all these Easter eggs. I mean, some
like
of them.
The $3 sale. The $3 sale. I thought that was very Easter eggy. Yeah,
I mean, some of it is a lot of like a bit of a reach, like some of the maths stuff, like where they're like, oh, it's the third day and the, with the dates and stuff. I'm like, some of them you could
American time
maybe reaching, but the Nessie transmission in the Apex patch notes. So
I don't read that.
in the newest patch notes that just came
Right.
out, well, yeah, it would still be the newest, I think. At the very, very bottom of the patch notes, there was a incoming transmission Nessie, and then it just had a bunch of numbers, right? And the numbers turned out to be the dates of Titanfall coming out, Titanfall 1, 2, and Apex. Each date. So like the dates that they came out, right?
Right.
Almost insinuating that like there's going to be
A new game.
something else. Like why would they have the dates for Titanfall in there? Like obviously it's the same universe, but it's not Apex, you know?
No.
And then just, yeah, there's been a lot of stuff. It's been a deep dive into the Reddit thread for sure.
It's interesting. I'd be interested to see the time difference between Titanfall 1, Titanfall 2, Titanfall 2 and Apex. And then Apex and whatever that could be calculated, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be actually quite a good deep dive. It's just it's so strange that they truly fuck themselves when they put out, you know, they're like, oh, Titanfall 2, it flopped and it didn't do very well. It's like you put it out at the same time as Battlefield.
Yeah.
Like, why would you do that? EA owns Battlefield. And they also own Titanfall because they own Respawn. Why did they do that? Why?
I don't know.
Like, were they like, neither of these are probably going to do very well. We'll just put them both out there. It's like, no.
Battlefield was huge.
And then it was huge.
Fucking huge.
It was huge, and it overshadowed
Titanfall.
Titanfall 2. And then they complained that like it didn't do well. It's like, bitch, no shit, it didn't do well. You did that to yourself. So,
Do you know
I don't know.
You know what game did well though?
What?
Commercially. Baldur's Gate 3.
Oh, yes.
I've been
it
trying to
is
talk
about
about this
time.
motherfucking game.
Yeah.
I've been trying to talk about this motherfucking game for 3 episodes.
Literally
3
been
episodes.
on the topics list every single week. And you know what we do instead? Talk about everything but.
Kim Kardashian, Taylor Swift, Britney
Blood
Spears,
on the floor in BP.
a BP ice cream blood flow story. I wonder if I'll have to beep out the company name. Surely not. That's
It
fine.
rhymes with E.T.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
But I have been playing Baldur's Gate 3. I just finished it last night.
Oh, wow.
I just finished it. So, what I did was I played with my partner on the PC, and then my friend, Kelsey, from Queensland, she was like, oh, do you want to play with me? And I was like, yes, I do. But she only has it on PS5. So I had to buy it on PS5 because it's not cross-platform.
Oh
yet.
my god! Wait, did you pay? It's like $80 on Steam. Did you pay another? Oh, bitch.
It's worth it, dude. It's worth it. I was going to pay it again to get you to get it because it's so good. It's so excellent.
That's insane.
It's so excellent. Like, you remember how... So, I have a tendency to get Ellie to download games that she doesn't really want. So, I'll pay for one copy and then that, like, subsidizes it. Like, it's a 50% off for her and Craig, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mentally. That's how I have done things in the past and what I will probably continue to do.
The time you got me Among Us and then I played it and I said, fuck this game in its entirety, and I literally refunded it back to you. I was like,
Well,
nope.
Yeah, that's sus. How about that?
Literally.
Yeah, Ellie vented. But yeah, that was, I think, because you played with my fuck ass friends and you were like,
It was just a lot.
yes,
Like literally
not
one
like Titanfall.
in the chat. Like no one. And there was like 12 people or something. And I just knew you. And we go in and then I just remember them being like, what the fuck is this bitch doing? Like she's clearly sus. I'm like, I don't even know how to play this game.
Oh, am I meant to be killing people?
And they like literally booted me as being sus the first round. And I was like, I'm going to dip.
I'm just from New Zealand.
Yeah.
I'm not sus.
Yeah. I think they felt bad after that, but I was like, this was bad. I did not enjoy my time.
This was not good. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Namaste. And then you left.
I'm gonna get out of here.
Yeah. Nama leave.
Yeah.
But Baldur's Gate 3, it is truly the most immersive gaming experience I've ever had.
It did look pretty cool watching you play. It looked good, but I'm usually not into I don't want to say like campaigns. Like I played campaign games before, but I don't know. I'm not into like just the medieval-esque like Skyrim and like, I don't know. It's not
It's
my jam.
hard to explain because it's kind of a genre bending game, right?
Yeah.
Because it is definitely an RPG. It's definitely an RPG. It's got medieval aspects, absolutely. And it's not got any guns. So I think that's where we're losing it.
Things.
But
Yeah,
it's
I find it easier, like, I think also because I'm very time poor now.
Yes.
Especially more these days. So it's a lot easier to just be like, I'm just going to jump into like Apex or Titanfall 2 or like, you know, something, not Rust, as we've talked about, anything that doesn't take me a lot of time and that I can jump in and out of without there being a lot of consequence in terms of like, if I need to, you know, go look after baby.
Half an hour, an hour.
Yeah. Like if I get like an hour or two at night that I can just zone out and murder some people, you know, whereas I feel like a full campaign, I feel like Baldur's Gate, I would get so sucked in. It's almost like when you're reading a book and it's really good and you just...
It's that exact feeling.
Yeah.
It's that exact feeling. You get so engrossed in the story.
Yeah.
It's not... it's linear. It is linear because there's 3 acts, right?
Right.
And they all have different things, but your choices... I've never played a game where my choices feel so impactful.
Oh.
It's like... Yeah, people are comparing it with... What's that space game where everyone fucks the aliens?
I'm sorry?
Not Halo. It's Mass Effect.
Okay. I was like, I don't know where you're going with
General,
this.
that's a hospital. Mass Effect, right? Mass Effect. It has those vibes where your story will change dramatically based on your choices, right? It's like a pick your own adventure.
Like full butterfly effect.
Yes. Yeah.
Interesting.
It's like exactly like D&D, and not exactly, but very close to the D&D experience where it's like, you know, you get to be really creative and you can role play, or you can just go around and blast goblins. Like you can do whatever you want. This is an advertisement.
Why does
for this
that
game.
sound like a euphemism? Blasting goblins.
Go and blast some goblins.
Yeah.
Gobble some blasts. But it's... I feel like Craig would love that game.
Oh yeah.
I have been playing with my partner. I've been playing with Kelsey. Each I put in probably, with both, probably 200 hours.
Wow. Okay.
Which is very, very, like a lot.
Yeah.
Probably not 200 hours, but a lot of hours. Probably cumulatively a couple days of... Because I'll play it like 10 hours in a row.
Yeah.
With my friend Kelsey, because she like forces me to play.
Yeah.
She's like, "Oh, you're not leaving until we get this done," and we're both idiots, so we have no idea what to do. But
I do miss those days, like of just being like, oh, Crosby is playing Apex Legends. I just saw that pop up. I miss those days of just being like, you know what I'm doing all day today? Gaming, and that's it, because I have no self-control, and like literally, I used to love doing that, but now I had to be an adult.
Just get baby into BG3.
Get her a little headset and a little computer. But yeah, I mean, when she was really little and she did really long sleeping stints, you could like have her in the front pack and just sort of like chill. But now that she's a little bit older, she's 3 months, she's catnapping, which is, she sleeps really good at night, but because she only does 30 minutes at a time during the day,
hard to get anything done.
Absolutely zero done. But another thing, so you know how we talked about Taylor Swift popping up in the podcast literally every single episode?
Every episode.
This episode is going to be no different, because I found a thing called the Taylor Swift method. And this popped up in one of my mum's groups, and it's literally talking about Taylor Swift's music helping put their babies to sleep. And there's like there's a playlist on Spotify called the Taylor Swift method.
Please explain. What I will say, Taylor Swift, very relaxing.
That's literally, I think that's literally it. Someone was like, this playlist puts my baby to sleep like that. And it's literally just like all her chill music.
It has a lot of like, Mother Tuesday, the less I know, follow. That song would do well.
Yes, that's in there. Evermore is in there. Cardigan's in there. Just like all the very like, you know, not Shake It Off. Obviously not like fucking like, you know. That's
you just strummed
I did.
your microphone like a guitar.
You bitch. This is Craig's, and I said when I get one, I don't want a big thing because I'm too gesturing, so I need one that just sits in front of me.
Yes.
Yes. But literally, the Spotify playlist is just, I just Googled the Taylor Swift method.
So does it
And I was
work?
listening to it today.
And then you fell asleep at the wheel.
The playlist is from Hey Sleepy Baby. Rachel from Hey Sleepy Baby. She has her favorite songs to help your baby or toddler fall asleep. Literally, yeah, just all Taylor Swift.
Do you reckon they do the corn method? You're like, good night, little pagan.
Yeah, that's not corn, but that was
Same thing.
That was Disturbed.
That's Disturbed, yeah.
Close, yeah. I don't know if it's hard to know if it works. Like, I think I played it yesterday and I kind of just liked that it was chill anyway. Like, just for me. Like, it's kind of just nice to, like...
I think it makes probably both the flow a lot easier.
Yeah, because you're calm and then your baby feels calm. It's kind of like a knock-on effect. But then I also struggle with if you're playing anything music-wise for them to go down to, you kind of don't want to turn it off if they've then gone to sleep, because then you run the risk of, like, them just going...
There are sleep apps that will slowly taper down the volume. Oh. Yes, so investigate that. That's
kind of cool. We do have white noise on her baby monitor that goes all night. It literally, like, I just leave it on all the time because I can, like, we sleep with it and it's fine. It's whatever. So that's not a problem. But I think a lot of people are using the Taylor Swift method for the car too. So, like, if they start screaming in the car, you can sort of, like... I haven't tested that theory,
but as well, Ed Sheeran apparently is quite good for babies. Babies like Ed Sheeran.
I think it's kind of the same vibe, isn't it? As Taylor Swift, like it's like that same, just chill, acoustic, poppy, yeah.
I wonder if they'll bring out the Skrillex method.
I could see it. Yeah.
Call 911 right now. So relaxing.
I love Skrillex so much. I loved it.
Skrillex is such a throwback, and I feel like
makes me feel so
probably perfectly transitions into OK Zuma.
Yes.
Because this week, it's not really Skrillex, but it's kind of Skrillex.
Oh, okay.
Have you heard of the someone cooked here phenomenon? Someone's cooked here?
Someone's cooked here.
Yeah.
I feel so old every episode. No.
Okay, so someone's cooked here. What do you think that's a reference
someone's
to?
Cooked here.
Wildest guess.
I'm getting Breaking Bad. It's giving meth cooking. It's I'm guessing it's not that. Someone's cooked here. Like, when I think of cooked, I think like that person's cooked, like they're just fucked. Like they're wrecked. Like,
right.
Is it along the same lines of, like,
not at all
being cooked? No.
No.
What the fuck?
You were closer with your first guess.
Oh.
Yeah. Because I'm pretty sure it actually comes from a scene where they say, someone cooked here.
Oh, well, that'll teach me for not watching Breaking Bad all the way through.
I didn't either.
Oh, okay.
It's too old.
Yeah. Too far behind now. Okay.
Exactly.
Someone's cooked here. So, I don't know. You have to tell me. I have no idea.
Okay, so what the principle is, and I fucking love this trend on TikTok, where basically it's once again about boring shit, crap straight men, right? So pretty much women are posting things where their prospective partners have said something where it's like, I can tell you've dated a girl who's kind of fixed you before. Like, you know, they're saying something that only a woman would know.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. Like they learned that from a past girlfriend.
So they've dated someone who's like kind of fixed them, and then, you know, they've obviously broken up, and this dude's gone out in the world, and he's now proliferating those things. And I remember a great example that Brittany Broski said on the Bold and the Beautiful. Oh, she is the best. She said it on the Bold and the Beautiful podcast. Was somebody said, so her and her brand new boyfriend were picking each other's outfits for a date. And the boyfriend picks up a pair of jeans and says, is this a sitting down jean or a standing up jean?
Someone cooked here.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? Someone cooked here. Yeah. Like someone's been cooking in this kitchen. You know what I mean?
Oh, I get it now. Yeah, okay.
Here.
Okay.
But it'll be like, oh, is this a sitting, standing up gene or a sitting down gene? Someone's cooked here. Like, suspicious.
So
you know what I mean?
good.
It's
Yeah.
so perfect. I'll try and post an example, but it's like one of my favorite formats at the moment.
I do like that. I feel like I need to spend more time on TikTok, but then also it's a little bit more fun when I have no idea what the fuck you're talking about.
Dude, next week's it's kind of mean,
So
but like I've got
educational.
next week's. It's so good.
Oh, really? I'm
Yes.
excited. I'm excited for next week's.
Halloween episode.
Yes. I'm so
I
excited.
think it's going to heavily feature Twilight, and I'm worried about it.
Heavily babe, it's the whole episode.
I'll edit that out, don't worry.
Please don't. Please don't. That needs to be the open. Yeah.
Someone cooked here. What is your someone cooked here moment? What's a time
I was
where
literally trying to think that as you were saying it, and I feel like I've had that moment with Craig before, but I cannot think of what it would be off the top of my head. But I feel like I know that moment. I know it's happened to me before.
I have the uncanny ability of dating baby gays, so that I'm like their first boyfriends, and like, or they're like bi, and they're like I'm their very. So it doesn't really relate like very well.
Yeah.
I can tell where they've like.
It is a straight man thing, isn't it, really?
Yes. Do
Yeah.
you have any crazy roommate stories? Have you?
Oh
I
my
mean,
god. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a lot
I
of
need to hear
crazy.
one.
I mean, I've learnt that do not live with your friends because they will not be your friends afterwards. I can tell you that fucking much. Yeah, living in New Zealand is it's even worse now, but it was very expensive rental wise, like renting it. Like you had to have flatmates. You couldn't not have flatmates. If you lived on
Yes.
your own, you were like rich. Like as a young person, I mean, like as a young
Yes.
adult.
Yeah.
So yeah, I did a lot of. I had a long-term partner before Craig, and we lived together. So like he was my high school boyfriend, and then we lived with another couple after high school, high school. So she was a girl that I met through my course that I did, and we were like, oh, we should live together. This would be fun. Me and you and your boyfriend, and it'd be awesome. It did not go well. It
never awesome.
did not go well. I remember they fought a lot. And me and my partner ended up really loving her boyfriend more, and me and her fell out, and she used to get really drunk and then run away. She was one of those that'd fight and then she'd literally just run up the road.
She's making a deal with God. She's
and you're
running up
like-
that hill.
Now we're gonna go fucking find her. Like,
You
like
know, I
you
mean,
know,
that's the thing.
you're like, I probably should, because you're like an alone female at 3 a.m. just out on the street. We should probably go find. But at that, you've done this 4 times in a row.
Yeah.
No, I really
They
don't
should
want
have
to.
some sort of like. They should have some sort of like dog catcher for wayward.
They put her on like a
wayward
little leash.
teenagers. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, they ended up breaking up, and she moved out. He stayed, and him and my ex-partner are still like really, really, really good friends. I think that they lived together. They moved again out of that house and lived in a different house together. I moved out of that house. Obviously, I broke up with him. We broke up, and I moved on. But so I didn't talk to her for
You hear
a
that,
really
ex-boyfriend?
long time.
She's moved on.
I fucking moved on. This is like, I've been with Craig for like a decade, literally a
Yeah,
decade this year,
yes.
and I'm like, fuck you. No.
Fuck you still. Fuck you.
From high school, that's how ancient I am. Oh my lord. So I was with, I think I was with my ex for 5 years. So from like high school, from like 16 to 21. Yeah, 21. Because then I was with Craig from 21 till now, 31. I'm outing myself, outing my age on national television. Yeah.
On
but,
Beyonce's internet.
Essentially, what I learned is that you just don't live with friends, because
No.
we are now friends again, not like super super close, but we
You and that
sort
girl.
of So we didn't talk for ages and like years and years. And then I think like she met another person, and I met another person.
Can
She's
I
got
ask?
2 kids,
Can
and
I
then we
ask?
just sort of were like, why did we not talk?
Was it the constant fighting and the running away that made you guys split, or was there an event? Because I feel like in my situation that I just got out of, there was an event.
I cannot think of one exact event. No, I can't remember. Anyway, it's been a really long time. I am ancient, as we've said.
Mine's fresh.
Yeah, yours is fresh. I can't. I'm sure that there was some sort of event. I mean, in the end, the event that made her leave was they broke up, right? So that's.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not me exactly, but I just was kind of like, well, I'm choosing him in the divorce. You know, like, I like he can stay.
Captain America Civil War style.
Yeah. So, yeah, I can't think of any one event, but I absolutely get I'm not a big conflict person either. So definitely avoiding any kind of conflict. Yeah. Flatmates, no. God forbid I ever become super poor and need to have flatmates again.
Well, if you ever move back to NZ.
Yeah, hopefully we'll have our own house with our baby, because
get the baby to get a job.
Yeah. She's going to have to pay her own rent, like legit. Maybe
paying your own rent. You know, you can pay your rent on OnlyFans, and you know what's on OnlyFans?
I was trying to
Fetish
bring it
content.
Around. Bring it around town.
It's time.
Yeah.
Fetish of the week.
For this week, I need to get the word because I don't want to say it wrong, because it'll be ironic.
Oh, you
if
need
I do,
Google to
I'm a man, right?
say it for you?
No. I
could,
got
like,
it.
play
I got
the-
it. It's fine. It's menophilia, right? When you hear menophilia,
Yeah.
what do you think?
Like men, like MEN, menophilia. So like men, male. But then that would be male. I mean, I automatically think of men, right?
Right. Yeah.
But I feel like I'm incorrect.
It's kind of the opposite. Well, maybe some men do this. It's menstruation. It's the fetishization of menstruation. Menophilia.
Oh,
like menopause.
menopause.
Like menses.
Right.
Yes.
Menses, yeah. Robert Menzies. Not Nemzies.
No.
Interesting.
It's the
I mean, a nice
attraction
easy
to-
fetish to have, I guess.
Dude.
If you're into women.
I mean-
Imagine if you had that fetish but you're a gay man.
How would
And
you?
you're like, God, I don't know. But
I
just
mean, well,
like
you
you're
could
into
just-
men, and then you're like, but I also like women that menstruate. And
or
then
men
you
that menstruate.
can't
'Cause there are
correlate.
men that menstruate.
True. You
Yeah.
have a good.
So that would be
that's
easy.
So specific.
Yeah, true.
It's so
But-
very specific. Like when you meet someone, you're like, so, do you still menstruate?
So
Like,
I feel like there's a point in transition where you stop menstruating, right? Because of the androgens, I want to say.
well, yeah, if you're taking tea, right?
But I feel like some people still do. I'm honestly not that educated on it.
No, I don't
would
know
love
either.
if you're on like testosterone treatment, let us know. And you know, if you still menstruate, I'm
Testosterone?
for testosterone.
You said testosterone.
I've said that since I was a kid. That was
funny.
genuinely a sex ed nurse came into our class and taught us testosterone. So me and my entire cohort have all said testosterone our entire life.
Imagine being a sex ed educator and just like ruining a whole generation, a whole class.
I'm like 90% sure it was just someone's mum. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
Like-
just the phys ed teacher.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, now I have to teach sex ed. Okay,
Fine. But yeah, testosterone.
yeah, there you go. Yeah.
But I should know because it's testes, right? Like testes.
Yes.
But like, I'm dumb, and it's not always apparent to me.
And it's late at night. We film late, so we're both mush.
Fried.
So
fried.
yeah.
But yeah, if you're on the treatment, let us know. HRT. If you're on HRT, let us know.
Yeah, I'd be interested to know too. It's that's a good fetish of the week. I feel like
Can you relate to it at all? Have you ever had period sex? I think is probably the question I should be asking.
that's true. I think I have like a couple of times, but it's just not for me. Usually I feel
Lot of
pretty
cleanup?
shitty. Well, yeah. Yeah, it's a lot of cleanup. And when you're in like a long-term relationship, I mean, it's literally, at least for me, it's only like 4 days.
Yes.
It's like,
We can
I
take a
can
break.
wait. I can wait. It's not like
Have
that
a
I'm,
Kit
you know,
Kat.
it's different when you're like in that honeymoon phase and you're like, we've got to fucking bang every minute, you know, like, and you're like, oh, your
We
period,
need to
oh my God.
breed
Oh my
right
God.
now.
Oh my God, you have your period. What the world's gonna
Yeah.
fucking end if I can't put my dick in you. Oh my God, like, it.
Can I
is
fuck you in
on.
the ass? Have you ever been asked while in your period to do anal?
I thought you said, have you been asked? Like, and that was the whole like
Have you been asked
ASS.
while
Yeah,
in your
yeah,
period?
yeah. Full stop. Like, Have you been asked? Yes. Well, yeah. Yeah. That's
Hey,
the guy's main
hey.
like.
When you you know how you're bleeding currently,
And you feel
through
real shit, and you're holding
and
like
your
a wheat
cramps
pack
are
on you, and you're
terrible.
taking tons of Nurofen. But you know what?
And you cried because you looked at a birthday cake and it reminded you of your 6th birthday today.
You know what,
Do you feel
I
like
can make it better for you.
can I open you up anally, rectally?
Yeah, that's I feel like that's every straight man's go-to. I've had
Really?
multiple partners be like, "Well, babe, it's okay. We can just do anal." I'm
It's
like,
fine. I'll settle for the back door.
Babe, if you think I don't want to do normal sex on my period, what makes you think I want to do anal on my period?
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize my period landed on your birthday,
yeah,
Mr. President, because that's the only way that
Is
you
your
are
birthday
getting in my back
every
door now.
month?
Yeah, God.
Yeah, no, yeah, period sex. It's not. I don't know. Yeah, I get horrendous cramps day one, so I'm like, eh.
Me too.
And then it's like it's only 3 more days. It's yeah. And then even before that, like I was on I'm on nothing at the moment because I just had a baby. But when I was on birth control, I was on the injection, so the depot, and I didn't get my period for like, oh my God, how long? Maybe like 8 years.
Is that Infinon? The rod?
No.
yeah.
That was atrocious. Have had that. Do not enjoy. No, just the
I don't
injection, the
recommend
3 monthly. They just stick it in your
The big depot, right?
the top of your butt, like your hips.
I don't remember. It's not interstitial area. It's you do like on the buckle and then the butt, and then you like do it between the
Yeah.
yeah.
I say butt, but it's not really your butt. It's like
upper hip. Or
yeah.
like mid hip.
Kind of just it reminds me of your butt because you kind of have to like lean over the. You do the whole like pull your pants down a little bit and lean over.
Transgluteal area. I learned this in nursing, but I don't remember. I fully don't remember.
Yeah.
But I remember you had to be very specific with where you placed it because you have a bunch of branching nerves at the bottom of your spine. And if you hit one of them nerves, that's not good. That's not good.
I had someone do that once because one time they did. It doesn't normally hurt, but one time one of the nurses did it and I was like, like it really like.
They
I was
probably
like, oh,
bruised a nerve,
yeah. I was like, what did you do? Like, are you using a gigantic needle for this time? Like, what
Well,
the fuck?
some people with intramuscular, because that's an intramuscular injection.
Yeah.
Some people do a zigzagging method, which is a recommended practice.
No.
So it's zigzag so that the muscle closes on itself and more of the product stays within the muscle. So it's like a zigzagging thing because your muscle is kind of like woven mattress springs, right? And so you push it through and they all get like this, but if you zigzag it through, they stretch less and it comes together more. I don't remember. It was like it was truly like a 3-minute tangent in a nursing class about injections. So,
I get it, but also no thank you.
Fuck that, dude.
No.
Getting someone wiggle needle in you, fuck that. Ugh.
It's like when they put local in and they have to like go like this, where they don't pull it out all the way and they just sort of like,
they're placing it in different areas, yeah. Yes.
Yeah, when I had the implant on in my arm, which I still have. I don't know.
Did they have to get it? Did you have to get it surgically removed?
Yes, you can sort of see it. But yeah, them putting the local in
the big needle
was the worst fucking thing in the world. And you know what? Getting it out 20 times worse.
Yeah.
20 times worse. And it was meant to last for 5 years, and I only had it in there for I think 6 months. So like it's super expensive to get. Well, at least I got it in New Zealand, so it was super. It was like $90 or something. But I'm like, 5 years, I'm sorted for like, a really long time.
I don't have to buy pads.
And it only lasted 6 months. And you know what? I had my period for the entire time.
What the fuck?
The entire time. Mm-hmm. And I was like, get this fucking thing out of me. And you know what their answer to that was? Oh, I love women's health. Their answer to that was, we'll just put you on the pill as well. I'm like, ma'am, I just paid you $90 to surgically implant this into my arm so that I didn't have to do anything.
Get it out. Lock her up.
And
What
I
do you
was
mean?
like, okay. Like I was quite young. So I'm like, oh, okay. So then I'm paying extra and
For the
taking
pill and the
extra
drug.
stuff. Yeah. And taking the pill. And I'm like, what was the point? I should have just stayed
An
on the pill because I was on the
implant's
pill
really not good
before
for you.
that. Yeah. Don't recommend.
I mean, neither is the pill. No, I don't know if there's really a healthy prophylactic other than condoms.
Yeah.
I
It's
don't think so.
honestly a shit show. After you have a baby, literally the first thing your midwives, even before you've had your baby, your midwives are like, right, it's time to start thinking about birth control. I don't know why they're American, but they're like, what are you going to do for birth control? I'm like, I'm
Really?
fucking
Now? You
40
think
weeks
it's
pregnant.
time?
And I'm like, oh, I think I'm never going to be touched again, actually,
Yeah.
is my form.
I think once I push this football out of me, I
Mm.
think I'll be closed for business.
Yeah, that's me. But
Yeah.
they literally ask you, I guess it's like their obligation. They have to like,
Educate.
teach you
Patient
about, because it
education,
can
yeah.
be, very unsafe to get pregnant really early on, obviously.
Or you have a big gaping wound.
Yes. I'm like, that's a whole nother story of like, I don't understand how people get pregnant that early on, because anyway. So my midwife's like, what are you going to do? And I'm like, literally none of them are
The pull-out method.
They're all terrible options. And the problem was it took us so long to get pregnant with
To get
Pagan.
pregnant, yeah.
Because I was on the depot, and to come off of that took so long that I'm like, I don't want to. It was good in terms of like, it didn't get me pregnant, obviously, and I didn't get my period. It was fantastic. But do I want to jump back on that straight away, not knowing if we want another kid? You know what I mean?
Yes,
Like, I
yeah.
feel like I have to wait until we're certain and then get on that bandwagon again. But it's like,
It's
why
so
is there no
hard
good option?
because-
There's no good option.
Because Craig is so huge, you have to buy those giant tidy bags, like the giant garbage bags.
The big black ones.
Yeah, the big black ones.
Yeah.
And it's like,
And they're so expensive.
it's
you know?
it's eating out of our house and home. And,
Yeah.
and then when it comes to my
monthly
house,
budget.
I have to buy them. And it's like,
Well, we have to share the load in terms of, I'm not paying for your ones. You have
we
to
have
pay
to
for
share
your
the
own,
load. That's right. Yeah.
The massive load.
Yeah. Period sex, to bring it back. I mean, not that we ever really left. I feel like this is the most close tangent we've ever had. But like,
Yeah, that's probably true.
Period. The fetishization.
I mean, I guess yeah. For you,
I can
there's not
usually-
going to be much.
I think the only thing. So I think the only comparable thing, and this might fall under a different category, but I have had sex with someone who did not realize that they were constipated, right? And sometimes in
Right.
people, when you have constipation, you get something called overflow, which is basically liquid shit. Your body tries to pump your stool filled with water, right? To
Yes,
push through
trying to,
this,
like,
this
yeah.
blockage, right?
Yeah.
But what can happen is, because the bowel is so flexible, it can push the overflow past the blockage,
Yeah. But
And-
not push the blockage.
not push the blockage.
Yeah.
And I have, I think on 2 occasions, been surprised by a butt burp.
Hi, Mum.
Yeah, hi mum. But that's the only thing I can compare it with, like,
Yes.
because it would make a mess, and then the other person's embarrassed, and like they're in pain, obviously now. But yeah, I
Yeah.
think that's like the most
I
comparable
don't know.
thing.
It's hard because, like, I mean, I understand the anal sex situation
Yes.
also, and I feel like they're not comparable.
No, God no. But like, I think that's the closest thing for gay men.
Yeah, it's yeah,
Well, cis gay men.
yeah. Unless you went into like having sex and didn't know you had your period, then I would get the whole like, oh my God, this is embarrassing, like that realm. But generally, if you're going in for period sex, you know.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, blood of any kind freaks me out a bit. Like, I'm okay if someone's
Says
injured.
the person that wanted to be a nurse.
I know. Needles freak me out too. Needles freak me out. That's why I couldn't do it.
And you're like, you know what? You know what the perfect career for me is?
I thought I'd get desensitized.
Sure,
I thought
sure,
but now
sure.
I kind of. So I used to be quite desensitized, right? Until I got cancer, and then I started getting stabbed all the time, right?
And then it got
And
worse.
it got worse and worse and worse, right? And so my anxiety about having cancer became anxiety for needles, anxiety for hospitals, anxiety for waiting rooms, anxiety for car trips, that sort of thing, right? As mental health does.
Mm-hmm.
And so now I see needles and I start getting really, I'm like, what if I get stabbed? What if I get stabbed? What if I get stabbed? Like,
Oh God.
it's crazy town. And then, but if somebody's giving me like an injection or like anything like that, I'm like, yes, of course, I'm fine. But like actually giving needles is fucking terrifying. I know you would have done it a ton in vet nursing, but like, well, probably not people, but
No, if you are, you're doing a really bad job.
Yeah, dude. In my nursing class, my first one, we were doing injections, and we were learning subcut injection, right? And in a lot of nursing classes, you'll have they call them hams or like chubs. They're basically a layer of fat, a layer of muscle,
Right.
and then I'm pretty sure there's a layer of bone, but I don't remember if it went that in depth. But pretty much it was like a section. It looked like a ham hock.
Right.
And you would pretend inject into it. And because they were just sponge, they were just like kind of hardened sponge. It felt kind of like an injecting a person. But basically they taught you to like do this with the needle, right? So you get the cap, you pull it off, right?
Yeah. Unlike what we do in vet medicine, which is pull it off with our teeth. Yeah. You're not meant to do that.
No.
But usually you're wrangling an animal.
Yes. How else are you meant to? Yeah.
Exactly.
But my very first class, I'm like, oh, I don't want to hit someone with this needle. I'm going to do it really small. And what I didn't take into account was muscle rebound, right? So I went like that. I went like this, and I stabbed through my finger.
Oh my God.
And I quickly went, whoop. But I was like, whoop, anyway,
No.
time for your injection. But no. So I stabbed through my finger, and then I was like, hey, Mia, can I have a Band-Aid? Who was my nursing my excellent nursing teacher, Mia, was like, oh, first one. And then, but there were so many other people. Like, we had somebody drop a needle through their shoe. I don't think it went through their toe, which is good, but it like dartboarded into their. But you'd think, how the fuck they must have thrown it, because it's bottom heavy. Like, it would surely, right?
Yeah, if there's stuff in the syringe, like.
I would have thought it would like flat. Anyways, it went through their shoe because they were wearing sneakers, which you weren't meant to. You were meant to wear closed-toe leather shoes, right?
Yeah.
Which for that exact reason, right? And we had somebody. So you know the liquid vials, they had that like lure lock thing where you like
the glass
it locks onto
vials.
the vial, yeah. And they were drawing in. So what they were taught was you push a little bit of air in. And then you can draw out that. So you draw up 20 mils. If you want to get 20 mils of the liquid, draw up 20 mils, push the 20 mils of air in, draw the 20 mils of fluid out, right?
Yeah.
Because if you tip it up, the air goes up, whatever.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
They pushed it in, and it shot across the room and hit someone in the head.
Oh, yeah, if you put too much pressure. Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah.
I loved learning nursing because it was like you were looking around being like, the next saviors of the planet. Like, and it's you and the group of your closest stupid friends who are like trying to learn how to save lives. And it's like, it's just so good. It's so good. I highly recommend learning nursing. Nursing as a job needs to change. The actual practices need to change. We need to start paying these people more because they do more, let's be real, than most other people. Hey. Yes, I will never not be on the side of nurses, unless it's that person who accidentally gave that paralytic in America recently and killed that person.
Yeah.
Not on
There's
this.
always one. There's always one. And I think we're about near the end.
We're right near the end because we've been recording for 2 hours now.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see it going, and I'm like, how the fuck are you going to edit this?
We may have to be part 1, part 2. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed our ranty episode. Gaming episode, by the way.
Yeah, I feel like we need a percentage of how much gaming talk happened versus other talk.
Oh my God. Of the 2-hour cast. It'll be probably an hour and 30, I imagine.
Well, we can,
These people don't care. They don't care if it's too long. This
all
person
about
does.
Millions of listeners.
Yes. Oh God, of course. But yeah, 4:30 Fridays. Keep tuned in. Subscribe or follow the Facebook page.
Subscribe.
Or the Spotify. Hey, let us know what you want us to talk about. Not next week, but the week after. Next week, it's Twilight. Sorry. That's what you get.
Yeah, you don't get choice. You fucking listen to Twilight.
It's horror movies and Twilight, and that's all you get.
All
and
you get.
Probably Britney Spears and Taylor Swift at some point.
Yeah.
All
They know what they're
bye,
here
everyone.
for now. Bye,
They know what they're
bitch.
here for. Bye.